How is it going then, everybody? I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video here on our channel. I'm the FIFA Analyst. Today, I'm bringing you a video on the art of defending on FIFA 21. Something that is a little bit more unique in a sense because of the through balls this year. There's sometimes where you have to literally defend a run that you may not even think is a possible run. So people get a little bit confused on how to do it, which obviously is quite a difficult thing to do. So we're hopefully going to shed some light on that for you today and help bolster your defense so you can stop conceding as many goals and win more games in FUT Champs. If you enjoy this video, if you find it helpful once you get to the end, do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. So then, let's go ahead and jump into a FUT Champs game. We're going to walk you through this. There's a few points that I want to focus on today that I want to talk to you about when it comes to defending and how we are going to look at defending in a game on FUT Champs. Now, the first point we're going to look at is jockeying and when to step in. Right, I've got three things wrote down that I want to talk to you about. It's jockeying and when to step in, right stick switching and predicting the next pass, and being a little bit aggressive, and then obviously being able to track any through balls and where you want to push them out to instead of allowing them to get in on goal. So let's go ahead and talk about jockeying and when to step in first of all. Hopefully this guy will be attacking and we can have a look at that and we can show you. Now, jockeying and when to step in, a lot of people get confused in a sense that you want to be using the sprint and the jockey button, so the R2 and the L2 button together in the middle of the park, right, to cover the ground as quick as you possibly can. And then as people get inside the box, that's where you may just release the sprint button and you may then look for just the jockey button. When are you going to actually step in to take the ball off someone? As we go for that through ball, a little bit optimistic, but when are you going to step in? You're going to step in. It's like there I'm using the R2 and the L2 to cover the ground. When ideally they take a big touch or they do a skill move that you can spot that animation out of. I'm just trying to see if we can get a chance here. Got Grealish on the edge. Got that Theo there. Lay that one off. We'll put that back onto my left foot. Hit that with Dybala. And that's a good goal. So the issue that you had there was that he was controlling with Varane, I believe. He wasn't really controlling with Kante, which meant that I had time on the ball. Now, like here, I'm going to use the R2 and the L2 button to go ahead and step in. Whenever I'm putting pressure on the opponent, I'm not going to overshoot, right? I'm constantly trying to keep my players goal side. Using a sprint button here just to pull back. We're using my CDM just to pull back as well. What you ideally want to create is, and I hate saying this, right? I prefer manual defending myself. I think the game should be a lot more manual. You ideally want to cover the passing lanes, cover the most dangerous passes, which are the ones up against your centre-backs as much as you possibly can. Like that one there. Try and cover it as best as you can using the R2 and the L2, RT and LT on Xbox. And you want to make sure you're covering it. You don't really want to touch your centre-backs. You want to stay away from touching your centre-backs as much as you can. So just using the R2 and the L2 button there just to step in. You only want to be changing to your defensive line when they have got a through ball through, just using the L2 button there, just using L2 here just to stand up. You want to change to your centre-backs when there's a through ball that you need to track or your midfielders are so far away that you need to pull them back into position. You can see here he's moving Petit now. He's moved that centre-back out. Look at how the gap has appeared for them me to go in and step in and get that goal. He could have carried on tracking with his Petit then, I believe it was. He didn't need to change to his centre-back. You want to avoid touching your centre-backs until it literally the last possible minute. So when I'm like pressing here, so this is going to be where we want to look at right stick switching. People get confused in a sense that you can see that I've already switched to Grealish. I switched to Grealish then before the pass was even played. Right stick switching, I've done a video on it, so you're more than welcome to go and watch that in-depth video if you want. Right stick switching is one of the harder parts in Weekend League and FIFA that people obviously struggle with because the mechanic in itself is a little bit so-so. It's something that you need to develop, but people get confused and go, well, why do I need to develop it? And the reason why you need to develop it is so you can actually do your best to press on this game, to predict the next pass. There's no point in running at the ball holder aimlessly to get the ball back because they're just going to lay it off to the next guy and then bangs. Like here, I'm just going to pull my left back over, try and step in then. LB switch then. I'm just going to stand up. I'm not going to make a mistake here. I'm just going to stand up. Oh, he's managed to get that through ball through. And that's a defensive error error for me. I thought he was going to go around the outside, but he went through the middle. I tried my best there not to make a mistake with my two centre-backs, my Ansaldi and my Wan-Bissaka. I wanted them just to stand up. I was using the R2 and the L2 button, my jockey and my sprint button, to try and cover the ground and keep up with space. When it comes to when should you sprint and when should you just jockey, if the opponent's sprinting, you want to sprint. If the opponent's just dribbling, you can just jockey. You don't need to sprint then yourself. It's about mirroring the opponent in defense. That's kind of what we're looking to do. Mirror the opponent in the defense, and you'll always be okay. I think he's offside. Yeah, he's just about offside. Good finish there. So here, I'm just using a sprint button to move through. I'll use the right stick switching to try and predict the next pass. So I just put the pressure on McGrealish. Should already switched to him a good few seconds before. So he, like now, should obviously move back over to the Van Dijk and probably bring that Van Dijk over. But he's not. He's just staying with the Kante there, which gave me the time to get through. That's where you have to switch to your centre-back. Because he's stuck with the CM, I had all the time in the world with Dybala to make my way into the box, and it meant that it was just too easy for me. You have to put the pressure onto the opponent, but keep goal side. Don't go and commit in. And that's the key part of knowing, well, when do I step in, analyst? You're saying this, but when do I step in? When they take, I'm not going to step in here. He's not taking a big touch. I'm trying to cover the passes if I can. He just gets through. I'm waiting for the big touch or the skill move. Big touch, can't get there. Wait for the skill move, stand up. Now I step in. He's took a big touch. That's my time to try and get the ball. Unfortunately, we don't there. And then I just come across and use that L2 button just to shield, and he was offside. Anyway, but you see that big touch from the skill move that I think that he took with Wayne Rooney. That's my time to step in. You need to learn animations. So like when someone does a fake shot, when someone does a drag back and all that sort of stuff, to know, okay, that's when I can now step in. I know that skill move. What he can't change the outcome of that skill move once he does it. And that's where you can step in. Just going to stand up here, just try and cover the passes as best I can. Now close it down, and we just get a very fortunate block. That's an area that I struggle with in my play style. When someone gets into that particular area on the wing, I struggle to really like cover the pass and take the ball off them, if that makes sense. I'm going to keep running here because he's not putting any pressure on. Go for the elastico. Heel to heel. No. Hey. Why did he do that? He didn't do the heel to heel. Heel to heel that time though with Ronaldo. There we go. Lay that one over. Grealish. Grealish. Lay that back. Tavernier. Back to Grealish again. He needs to switch to Petit. Like, he could have switched to Petit earlier then to put the pressure on before I even laid the pass off. Good pressure from Kante. So I'm going to come forward now with Duncan. I'm not going to dive in. There you go. There I can step in. I made that quick decision. As soon as he took that touch with sprint, that's where I step in. That's why I tell you guys, make sure you don't hold that sprint button down too much. Because if you do, go for the chip. Oh, if you do, the opponent can step in and take the ball off. I'm not going to come and pressure too much here with the left back. I'm just going to keep an eye on that run. That's my ball. No, so I'm just going to pull back. Right stick switch to Duncan. Come across. Cover the most dangerous passes. I'm pulling the Grealish back because obviously the centre mids don't track back this year themselves. Just using the R2 and the L2 there. The sprint and the jockey just to take that ball directly off him. Wayne Rooney to drive forward now into Dybala, into Grealish. We'll ball roll away from the Kante to make sure that we don't lose that ball there. We've got Dybala in that false 9 role. Double tap past to Rooney. Over to Ronaldo as well. We'll lay that back. We've got Dybala here on the edge. We'll go for a little heel to heel. And we'll lay that one into Grealish. Oh, nearly. Oh, hello, hello. Another chance, another chance. Double tap. Oh, the blocks. Left, right and centre. Go on, can we get one more in? No, unfortunately not. And so that's kind of giving you a bit of an understanding of the things that I'm thinking about, the things that you should be thinking about when you're defending. It's a very unique way in finding this, when to apply the sprint, when to just do the jockey. Inside the box is where you're probably going to just be jockeying unless the opponent's sprinting, and you need to keep up with the sprint obviously on that front. The right stick switching is one of the more harder parts of the game to get right for a lot of people, but once you can nail that, that's where you will see your defending go to that next level. Now if you are learning the right stick switching, don't be afraid to use that L1, that LB button to just switch back to the guy closest to the ball, and then you can right stick switch from there in case you ever... What a lot of people do is they right stick switch, they lose track of who they're controlling, just use that LB, but that L1 button as a reset, which will make things nice and easy for you. But like you can see here, he's trying to cover that passing lane. He does. That's just really unfortunate that he's not come out with the ball there. Like here, he needs to switch. He needs to stay with that Carl Walker. That's where the bridge can still work quite well because he changed off that Carl Walker. I still managed to get through. I got quite lucky here. That is a ridiculous pass. That pass should never have worked. Never have worked. That's not what I wanted. I wanted it back to feet, and the game kind of like took it forward. That's the typical assisted passing from EA. Can we find Dybala? We'll go for a little turn, and then we can finesse that. And Dybala, to be honest with you, does not miss those chances. He is very good. I imagine, yeah, that's the opponent going to be going on that front. So GG to him. I hope that's given you a bit of an understanding, a bit of a walk down. Obviously, just at the 11 wins mark there. That should hopefully help you guys kind of get an understanding of what we're looking at defending. Just remember that the key points are jockeying. We want to know when to sprint and when to jockey. You want to run to an opponent in the middle of the pitch with the R2 and the L2 button. You want to make sure that you don't overshoot. You don't take your player past their player. Keep your player goal side at all times. Don't switch to the centre-backs. Try and maintain with the CMs. Drag the CMs back. You only switch to the centre-backs if there's a through ball that you need to defend, or your centre-mids are so far away that you have to switch your centre-backs. There was one opportunity, I think, where we scored where he changed to the centre-back, but he could have changed to the centre-mid. He could have stuck with the centre-mid and carried on pulling that centre-mid back. You can't cover all the passes on the wings. Your main ones are your biggest threat passes, which are the passes into the striker that have the route onto your centre-backs. Your centre-backs have the lowest agility, the lowest balance. Compared to your full-backs, they're much easier to beat than, say, like a Tavernier at right-back or something. Right stick switching will be your best friend. Make sure you go ahead and learn that. I'll put a video up above me now. You can go ahead and give that a watch, which gives you a more in-depth detail of right stick switching and how it can benefit you and why you need to learn it into your game. And once you've learned that, you can use that to know when to predict the next pass, which helps you press high up the pitch, which helps you be an aggressive defender on the edge of your box and all of that sort of stuff. It does have a lot of learning curve to it, but defending on FIFA 21, some people seem to be struggling with regards to the YouTube comments, which is why this video should help you guys out. If you did enjoy it though, please do leave a like. Obviously, it is massively appreciated. Your support recently has been incredible, so thank you all for that. It is greatly appreciated. Closing in on 125,000 subscribers, which is mental. Thank you all so much for that. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you to our patrons who support us, and I'll catch all you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.